Hello everyone, welcome back to the No Strings Attached podcast. I'm Mark and he's Tristan. Thank you for watching again. Here we go.
I think first of all, just want to say a massive thanks for all the support in the first 5 episodes. We've been blown away by it, to be fair.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, really, really good. We love the comments, we love the conversation. We're starting to kind of feel as though we're voicing both sides of the coin when it comes to most opinions, and I think the knock-on effect of that is people have felt safe to say how they feel, which is exactly, well, not exactly what we set out to do, but it's certainly a really nice byproduct of what we're doing. As always, we super appreciate your feedback, suggestions for topics for us to cover, things you want us to rant about. Mark does love a good rant. So
don't know what you mean.
Well, no.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who's come up to me and said, loving the podcast, spent all yesterday watching you or looking at you. I mean, that's a bit disconcerting, but
the fact that people
it's lovely.
Look at your face.
I know. You've seen your therapist this week.
Yeah.
No, genuinely, thank you. Lots of great feedback. People suggesting, topics, as Tristan just mentioned. Please keep doing so.
And do it publicly, please. I love all the messages in private messages and DMs and things. But shout about it. Shout about it online. That's what it's there for. So it's a great opportunity to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're currently on 92 subscribers. We're chasing 100. So if we can get to 100 at the back end of this video, that would be phenomenal.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So Mark, what are we talking about today?
Right, we're going to start off with a little bit of a review of Youth Triple Crown. Me and Emily went down for Saturday and Sunday last weekend and enjoyed watching some of the youth for England, Scotland, Ireland and Iceland. And it was, a very competitive tournament. The medals were spread around, which was good. Sadly, in the under-19s, particularly in the girls, there's less, which is something we've talked about before, really, or touched upon.
Yeah, we do need more.
Certainly need to help the girls to compete. Well, there's another episode maybe. That's for a bigger picture, but. Still competitive. There was a 300 from Colum Staines.
Well done, Colum.
Well done, Colum. As I promised you, Colum, what Tristan's going to put into this video is you bottling. I mean, taking 3 attempts to bowl your 12th shot, which you successfully achieved, of course. So
and it was a zinger as well, and that is no mean feat. To actually be able to tactically evacuate from a shot, reset, tactically evacuate from another shot, reset, and then go on to shoot.
He told me one of the reasons was sweaty hands was one of the reasons. I can't remember the other shot, but or the other back out. But nevertheless, you did it in a decent event. So well done. I'm sure it's not the last one you'll get, mate.
And it was a 10 out of 10 celebration. Yeah.
And I think you need to let your emotions go a little bit more.
Yeah.
Don't hold back as much as you do.
Honestly, mate, you're not a dull personality at all. So entertaining to watch.
You've met the rest of the family, have you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great event. The under-16 boys, I think, was particularly competitive. I don't know, there's notable things, there's loads. We could go through all the results. All the results are online at btba.org.uk, so if you want to delve into the details of everything, then they're all there. They did a really good job updating all the scores. Credit to Youth Bowling England, Stephen Toop, for collecting all the scores. He was running around, walking around. No, running around Stroud, collecting all the scores. And then Jill and Brian Parker were, looking after the scores, and Brian looking after the event. They did a fantastic job. Well done to Stroud Bowl. I don't think anything really went wrong. There was one or two breakdowns, but they were dealt with as quickly as you could expect. You know, a couple of unfortunate timings of breakdowns. There'll be one or two people, you know, cursing that, but that's bowling. It can happen at any moment, and you know, you've got to just sort of realise it could, and when it does, deal with it. But no, a really enjoyable event. What I was curious to know, Tris, was how many two-handers were playing. And, you know, we've talked about this briefly in other pods about, you know, what's happening in Europe.
I mean, should we just start with perhaps the percentages of two-handed players from EYC last year, and then how does it compare to Triple Crown?
Yeah, so if I recall correctly, about 75% of the boys were two-handed, and just under maybe. And the girls were around about 20%, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
That type of number.
So let's look at how that compares. What's going on across Europe and what's happening more domestically.
Yeah. So at that Triple Crown, there were, unless I've miscounted, so I apologise, but nearest damn it, there's eight of the 25 girls were two-handed, which is around about 30%. Okay, so that's pretty good. Of the boys, 18 of the 31 players were two-handed. So that's about 65%. So a little bit more with the girls, that's nice to see. A little bit less with the boys. Okay, but you know, pretty parallel numbers. So that was about 26 out of 56 of the players were two-handed. So you know, of the under-16s, 3 of the English were two-handed. 3 out of the 4. There were teams of 4. All of the Icelandic under-16s are two-handed. None of the Scottish.
Is that potentially some of your influence from Iceland?
It could well be, but I didn't totally influence that for sure. But that was already in progress, I think. So, but in Ireland, 2 out of the 3. So, yeah, Iceland, notably, 9 of their 12 players are two-handed.
9. Wow.
So, you know, that's quite an interesting. That's 75% across girls and boys. 2 of their under-16 girls out of the 4 were two-handed. So, you know, it's an interesting. I think it's these sort of things we need to sort of just keep an eye on, just see what's going on, understand what's going on. You know, because you know, as coaches, we're responsible or have a responsibility to guide players into the right way of playing. And if we're not aware of the trends that exist and what's happening at higher levels of the game, then you know we can make some wrong decisions potentially. Because if we're dealing with kids that are 10 or 12 or 14 or 15, we don't know how good they might be in 4, 5, 6, 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we guide them this way or that way, and this way ends up to be the best way and that way isn't, maybe we've done them a disservice. But so I think we just got to help. Well, bowling needs to help itself. We don't need to understand the trends of bowling. So two-handed is certainly, in my eyes, definitely the best way to play the game currently.
Yeah, so there's no denying the fact that we are two-handed first.
Definitely. Yeah. Right now, as youth developers, more dominantly two-handed. That's not to say you can't play and shouldn't, you know, can't play one-handed. I mean, we're moving into a debate about two-handed again, but, you know, as more and more people play two-handed, and particularly, you know, vast majority of the right-sided players are playing two-handed, that's going to leave an area of the lane that's not touched, potentially. So maybe one-handed right-handers are going to end up being sort of the new lefties, as was in the 90s and the 2000s, whereby they didn't have to move for 15 games type of thing, you know. Who knows? Who knows? So anyway, interesting to see. It's a real talent on show. very competitiveness. So in terms of the shields, the under-19 girls was won by England. The under-19 boys was won by Iceland. The under-16 girls was won by England. And the under-16 boys was won by Iceland, who defended their shield. So, must say I have a little soft spot for that team. They're having worked with them all, so I'm really happy for them. But
England was second
in the under-16s. They pushed them all the way.
And we had an injury in that team, didn't we?
And there was an injury, yeah. So who knows what might have happened had the first choice been in there. But Colum, George Layton had an injury, I think, on the first day or
before the first day, wasn't it? Yeah.
So they had to pull out. So
anyway, George, I hope you're healing up well, mate.
Callum Taylor was there because his brother was playing anyway, so he was able to fill in at very short notice. So not an easy thing to do. So well done to him just for stepping in, and probably unexpected few days bowling. So who knows? It would have been maybe a bit different, but it is what it is. But really good, really good.
Successful Triple Crown.
Successful Triple Crown. Yeah, well done to everyone involved.
Congratulations. Other big events. Obviously, Storm Lucky Larsen Masters concluded a couple of days ago, and we had 3 UK representatives who made the final cut. We had Ray Teece qualifying in 14th position, getting a bye into final step 2. And we had Dan Harding in 38th and Don Barrett in 34th, who made it through with 12.99 in the very last
I
squad.
was watching,
Yeah.
I think he needed a double in the last 3 frames.
Yeah, he did.
To guarantee it.
Yeah, he made the cut by 4 pins.
Turkey, yeah.
Yeah, the cut, which we expected to be somewhat higher. Obviously, at the time of recording, we haven't seen the oil pattern or any squads actually taking place. Turned out that it was a very, very difficult and challenging tournament.
Certainly.
So, Mark, can you remember what your
I'm sure I said it was going to be about, 12...
Yeah,
1290 something.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So short-term memory loss kicking in, wasn't it? 204 over. You said.
I actually said 1403.
Yeah.
What I meant was, I thought that would be what the top score would be.
Well, that would have got you 3rd place.
Yeah, I know.
In the qualifying. So, we had 3.
What do I know?
Just 3 1400s. That is 1% of the field managing to shoot.
So I've got a question then. Is the fact that was the standard of scoring, are we saying that the guys who put the oil down, who decided on the pattern, I believe it was a mixture of people, Christianus and Martin and maybe 1 or 2 others, are we saying that they did a brilliant job? Or are we saying perhaps they didn't quite get it right because the scores were there? We're very used to seeing, lots of 1400 blocks and scores going, into 150 over for qualification in re-entry tournament. Bearing in mind this is a re-entry event, what did they make it too hard, or what actually was it where it probably should be?
I actually think that pattern was a real test for the world's best bowlers. And if you are considered to be one of the best in the world, and you can prove that on a very, very challenging environment, that's the sort of bowling we want. I actually rate it. Could we say, was it as exciting because the scores weren't high and everybody wasn't, banging in 300 games left, right and centre? There was just 1 300 game in this tournament. And I believe that happened in the finals rather than qualification. So
I think having step 1 from Arna David.
David, and it was on lane 19 and 20, which had notoriously been a little bit difficult. especially in the later stages of the finals. That pair was producing some incredibly low scores.
Yeah, just looking at when Arna did that, he finished 12th and qualified through to step 2. His other, that game got him in.
Yeah,
he had 160 odd, 180 odd, 190 odd, 180 odd.
Yeah,
so thank God for that game. Well, from his perspective, sure. He also spared a 710.
He did also spare a 710.
He went into step 2. He missed out in step 2. So
I've got Arna here.
What were you looking for?
Just in the final step 2 results, because I believe that he missed by 1 pin.
Yes, he did.
Missed the cut by 1 pin.
He did. He had 1240, and the cut was 1241. So Alec Keplinger and Nora Johansson actually both had 1241. He had 1240. England's own Dominic Barrett was next, 1231, missing out, and Pontus 1231 also.
I mean, Dom did make a run for it in the last 3 games with 216, 224, and 238.
Yeah,
in the latter stages.
2 170s let him down. So, but it's a high quality tournament. Clearly, it put an emphasis by the looks of it on. Well, I imagine everything: ball speed, axis rotation, control. Consistency of line, everything. So it looks from the outside, without being there and talking to people, looks like it was a real true test of bowling, albeit. A particular part of the lane that not everyone will necessarily enjoy playing, but lofting of gutters came into play.
Ray Teece was.
Not sure I'm a big fan of that.
I did actually watch Ray Teece stand the other side of the ball return to play just short of 7th arrow. Yeah.
It's a definite skill.
Ray's performance in particular was
fantastic,
absolute masterclass in how to take on a difficult pattern and bowl well. Ray stayed really focused, and I think mentally that would have been a really, really challenging event to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Obviously, Dan's first squad in qualification was squad 6.
Yeah.
He shot 1296.
Was it?
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it.
1297.
1297. Like which was good enough. Yeah, good enough for. I think it was around 30th.
We could have saved some money, probably.
Yeah. So it was good enough for 38th to qualify with 1297, and that was in squad 6. It really looked as though he was going to get a bye into final step 2 until maybe squad sort of 20 onwards.
Yeah.
But he did enough. I'm pretty sure as well that even if he had have got pushed out of the top 40, he would have made it through on the under 21s.
Under 21s.
Yeah. So 1286.
Pretty safe from after that squad, really, given the way it went out. But early doors, you're never quite sure where the scoring's going to go when the majority of people turn up 2 or 3 days before.
Yeah.
And
so here's some other interesting stats. The field average, so all of the players at a PBA event was 184. So
184. Do you know how many games?
No, I don't have that to hand.
How many players was it? 300 and something?
Yeah.
380
so 376 players, and it was well over 1,000 entries.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're talking 6,000 plus games just in qualification. So it's 27 squads over the sort of 7-8 days of qualifying.
So 184 and no urethane less than 78D.
And it really wasn't in play.
It wasn't in play.
Really wasn't in play. So the oil pattern was 44 feet. It was 1.89 to 1 ratio.
Yeah.
Reverse brush came down at 41 feet. Ice in both tanks.
Tough.
Very tough. Very tough.
So, good.
So let's talk about scoring pace for some of our younger viewers, right?
Yeah.
Scoring pace versus your own expectation.
Here's a topic close to my heart.
Yeah. I think as athletes, we all want to shoot big scores at a tournament. We want to do well. But what does doing well actually look like? If scoring pace is low and you average 180 and you make a cut, have you bowled badly or have you bowled better than... Yeah? Does the score really, your expectation of what you're going to score and what you want to average, does that really matter? The answer to that question, in my opinion, is absolutely not. You need to be pacing along with the entire field.
Yeah, I think that's something that I think it's a very natural thing for particularly youth to get sucked into. Is if you have an average, you think about just being, my average is 180 in my league or whatever it is. You think, well, when I go to a tournament, well, I want to average 190. Well, okay, your average in your league is suggesting your capability is 180, but that's your environment. That's an environment you play in, day out, week in, week out, whatever.
Likely the same oil pattern, very similar
same people,
same lanes.
You turn up and you know basically what ball to roll and where to roll it. And so, you want to outperform your average, but you go to a tournament and you're thinking, well, I want to do this and I want to do that, without necessarily knowing, well, for definite, not really knowing what the environment's going to give you. Even if it's a pattern that you've played on in your home centre, you don't know that it's going to be the same. You don't know that it's going to be the same oil necessarily. That's information that's not always shared. But having an expectation to bowl X number, whatever that number is, whether it's high or low, is a stupid thing to do in my book.
Yeah. So this is a PBA event, remember? How many entrants managed to post a score above par in Lucky Larsen? Take a guess.
Okay, so I haven't actually looked.
So it was 376 athletes entered. How many of them, regardless of the number of squads,
1,200 or higher?
Were 1,200 or higher?
I'm going to go for 119.
124.
Wow.
Yeah. So only a third of the field averaged 200. The cut for the top 40 was 95 over. Yeah. And then you had the early bird athletes, the senior competition where two of the top seniors, the highest and second position senior, made the cut. There was under 21 competitions, so the highest under 21s that weren't in the top 40. The highest, we had two positions for the highest ladies, which was Nora and Pepe. Then you had the Turbo 5 athlete for scoring the highest game in Game 5, and the Turbo 6 athlete, which is the highest game in Game 6. So,
what were those games?
They were 275 from Johanni Tonteri in Game 6.
Yeah.
And Noel Strandman from Sweden, 277 in Game 5.
Okay, so in a low scoring event, the highest games at the end of the block when it's opened up or the oil's disappeared, whichever way has happened most.
Now, I actually...
Were 270s, that's big games.
Big games.
Big games.
So there was quite a lot of interesting tactics being deployed from my sources on the ground. Some players were adopting or using their 10 minutes practice rolling plastic to stretch the pattern out a little bit to try and make it a little bit more playable towards the latter parts of the blocks.
Right.
A lot of people were doing very, very similar things, playing very, very similar lines, so the transition was pretty consistent. But obviously, dressing the lanes 27 times with the same pattern, you see the pattern evolve over the course of the week, and it looked as though it got more difficult than it was in the early squads. And also, you had the sort of the caliber of players that were coming in the latter part of the week to
it's going to change the way the patterns evolve, breaks down.
It did.
It's going to be very different.
Absolutely.
We've talked about the the people in a squad before are having the effect, and that's what we're talking about with the pace of an event.
Yeah.
You know, and the pace of a block. You don't know until you're actually in it, you know, what's going on. You need to be aware of, you know, who's around you, what they're using, where are they playing, you know, look for people who are rolling the ball similarly to you to get an idea if you're a little bit lost. You know, where's someone who plays similarly to me, has a similar ball motion, rev rate, etc. But understand that, you know, in one event, bowling a 184 average means you're in the middle of the pack, you know, and this is a PBA event. So everyone who thinks that, well, I must average 200 everywhere I go to you know, to have a good day. Well, no, you know, some days, I remember actually last year at Youth Triple Crown, after the singles, I mean, if people are bothered, they'll be able to go and look this up, but I wasn't going to name the guy. But, you know, one of the young 16s, he was so disappointed that he'd only averaged 180 something. He was just, I've had a bad day, I didn't average 200. Yeah, but you sat there with a gold medal. So, yeah, but I didn't average 200. Well, okay, I'll take that gold medal back off you, right? And I'll take your 188 average or whatever it was, and I'll give you a 200 average and no medal. What do you want? Or I'll keep the gold medal, please.
So ultimately, to some of the younger athletes out there, you put too much pressure on yourselves if you turn up saying, I want to average 200. What you want to do is perform well physically, stick to your process. And if you do that, you're making good shots, the likelihood is you're going to do very well in the tournament. Yeah. And ultimately, the tournament is determined on who comes first.
You think to be playing a tournament, it's about beating other people. It's not about beating a score. It's about beating what score your opponent gets. Whether that be 299, meaning you need a 300, or whether that's, you know, 109 and you need 110. It doesn't matter. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
So parents, coaches out there, let's try and get out of the habit of focusing purely on how many pins you knock over. It's about how you do it.
Yeah. Average gives you an indication of someone's general capability, but
It's
not.
a data point, isn't it?
It's very environmental. It's very situational. You know, and the capability is what matters. Develop your technique. Develop your understanding of ball motion. Develop your understanding of how lanes change, and you know how other people are going to affect your game. And forget about numbers. Numbers will come, and you'll get to realise that actually, as your capability improves, the numbers will come.
Just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know, bowling on the same oil pad on the same lane all the time is, you know, is fun. Absolutely, but challenging yourself, putting yourself in different environments, getting comfortable with, you know, the nuances of lane surfaces and, you know, different settings and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, let's just finalise Lucky Larsen. It was quite an interesting final. So, obviously, Ray Teece did an exceptional job. Nora Johansson did an exceptional job. Obviously, we do love Nora on the show. We do talk about Nora quite a lot.
So Ray went out in the round of 8, so quarterfinals.
Yeah,
he went out to the eventual winner.
Yeah. So
by a massive gap of 2 solitary pins.
Yeah, I mean, Ray in first match play game was bowling against Colum's Marcus Janssen. Shot 233, 159, 200 for a 592 and won by 9 pins.
No, they didn't average 200.
Yeah, didn't even average 200.
Kids didn't average 200, won the match.
In the finals. So, just to give you some stats, there was 1 700 in match play by the young Ethan Fiore.
Yeah.
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 8 200s in the field, 60. So 50% average over par. In a final of a PBA. Yeah.
Was that all? Did they all win?
No.
So there was a few.
Yeah. Just as an interesting statistic, shall we say, the lowest 3-game series bowled in that match play with Nora with 547. Yeah, and she unfortunately lost to Ethan. Ethan's on absolute fire at the moment.
He was doing all right, wasn't he?
He was doing all right.
So in the round of 8, you had 3 people who averaged 600 or averaged 200 plus, had 600 for their 3-game block, and one of those lost, and that was Ethan Fury.
Yeah.
So he's had 601 and lost to 606, which was Urethane, who's gone on to be the runner-up. Andrew Anderson had 688. There was opponent away.
Games 210, 256 and 222. At that point I was like, Andrew's got this. He looks really, really good. Ray only lost by 2 pins to Sean Rash, even though he had a 210 in the last game to Sean's 172. It was an incredibly close match. Just want to say, Ray, it is a pleasure watching you again. It's always fun watching you, Ray. So well done. That's great achievement.
Yeah, awesome.
And I think for the end of this season, we just have to again shout out Dan Harden, making the cut at PBA event. He's gone and done it at regionals, and he's now showing that he can face up against the best in the world.
He's
brilliant. Great things are coming for you, Dan. All right, so well done. Super proud, and obviously don't do anything. Kind of expect it of you now, man. So. And then really, really tense final match, wasn't it? Yeah,
about semi-finals.
Very well, semi-finals. It was 1 game total. Nate Purchase lost to Sean Rash, 166 to 174.
There we go again, you know.
And then Andrew Anderson lost to Juno Rissanen, 213 to 189. So that left Juno Rissanen and Sean Rash in the final. It was 191 to 221.
Yeah. So
and Sean Rash, after recently being dropped by 900 global for, I think it was grassing up Jason Belmonte for vaping outside at a tournament in between squads.
Do we know that for a fact? We've got all the lawyers on case.
Speculation to then put on a motor shirt and win a Storm tournament. And must have felt pretty good.
Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Fair play.
So,
absolutely. First win for about 4 years, is it?
It's a while, I think it's 17th or 18th
overall
EBT Tour title.
Yeah,
so
18th. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Very good. Very good.
Well done, Daniel. Well done, Patrick. Well done, Martin. Another exceptional event. Incredible live stream as well. Huge thanks to Main Talk for being able to really bring the stream to life.
Got a very small criticism.
Oh, go on.
So I know the live stream is great and I really enjoy watching. And I don't know if it's possible. However, the lighting in the players' area is a little bit dark. You can't easily see who's playing until it's a little bit dark.
And the scores are right.
I know the scores are up. You can't see the people. It's just a bit dark.
This episode was brought to you by Specsavers. But anyway, funnily enough, there's been some interesting news that came from Lucky Larsen this week. Yeah.
Okay.
And so off the back of the EBF announcing that they were getting rid of the 70AD rule in terms of allowing tournament organisers to...
Or reversing back to the original position. Let's be very clear on that.
So 2023, EBF said that tournament organisers could decide whether they wanted to run 70AD events or not, and it was entirely up to them. And this year they have reverted back to any ball that is on the approved list is eligible for play on the EBT Tour. Now, the Motiv AIK International, which has typically been an EBT Tour stock, has now announced that they will be running this year outside of the EBT. They will no longer be a part of the EBT Tour and running as no urethane. So, what do we think?
No urethane
of
at all.
At all. There have been some questions on social media with regards to, so what about a storm mix that's a little bit urethane, or some of the reactors that have a slight, some slightly higher levels of that compound.
Have they answered that yet?
No, not yet. So I believe that the organisers are going to be putting out a specific list and a set of criteria to define what it means by no urethane.
Right.
So I'm expecting None of these. Are we going to see, obviously this is a 78D, but it's a microcell polymer from Motiv. Is it classed as urethane? Is that going to be allowed? Maybe, maybe not. We're looking forward to finding out a little bit more about this from organisers. Is this the end of the EBT Tour, as we know it?
Yeah, that's what I was just pondering while you were chatting.
I said this on our episode, like last time, how we're going to see the separation. And your comment was, well, how are they going to be able to run no urethane events? Because the way they're going to be able to do that is to remove themselves from the EBT
Tour. So if they're removing from EBT Tour, will they gain EBF sanction? Do the rules allow them to do that?
But there's a number of no urethane events in Finland.
Yeah, so as long as, I suppose, they're effectively sanctioned. I mean, ultimately, it only needs to be sanctioned by the Swedish Federation, as in Sweden. So, I guess, yeah, I mean, where does the EBT Tour go from here? I mean, are we expecting some sort of announcement? They've hinted at some sort of decision, USBC, following their survey, which we touched upon, before. Are we going to see some sort of announcement that, changes the world as we know it? And so maybe AIK are ahead of the game.
Maybe, but then we've also had the no urethane in Finland.
There's the Welsh tournament of the weekend in Stroud was a no urethane event.
So we've had our first no urethane event in the UK.
Yeah. So won by Glenn Watson.
It would be really interesting to see how ESBT adopts, because they have 3 78D events and 3 open approved borders.
I think we're in a very interesting period until USBC sort of
give their clear stance.
Actually state for 100%. Like, this is where we are. This is what we think right now. This is where we're going with the rules. Until we know for sure this is what it is for at least the foreseeable future. I think a lot of things are up in the air.
And
decisions can't really be made about how do you move forward. If you're a tournament organiser now, thinking about a tournament in June, let's say next year, you don't really know what's the best option.
Exactly, and I think based on the limited amount of information that I know, the questions I'm starting to ask in my head is this the end of the EBT Tour, or is this the separation, segregation that I was concerned about in the previous couple of episodes?
Or is it a little bit of a sort of a transition into a newer and a better one, perhaps?
Maybe, but I think
do we need to go through this process of people taking urethane out of play? Because there seems to be a lot of people who, because of a certain ball or two, have stopped playing European events, and you take those out of play, and have we really seen the numbers change in terms of entries? We've talked about our own ESBT Tour in England about having the separation of 2 different events, allowing different urethane to be used. That's affected the numbers, I think. I think we're in a bit of a weird time, really, where lots of people are making decisions and without necessarily really knowing where we're going to end up in the next few months.
Do we think we're going to end up with different, almost completely different versions of the sport? And you can
we
almost
have we have that with strings.
Yeah,
we don't
strings and free.
We really don't want to go there with volleyball. I mean, if the types of bowling ball is a separation, or causes a separation within the game, we're in a really bad position, because ultimately these things, everyone loves to buy a bowling ball, and if if these things are going to really cause that much of a problem, then the authorities need to get rid of that problem, and they can get rid of that problem. You know, this is what we play the game with. This is our equipment. This is what we need to score. It's not a choice of. What was I saying?
So due to a technical issue, we've completely forgot the topic of conversation.
So what we don't want the ball to be a differential. We don't want it not differential. We don't want it to be something that causes a split. No pun intended, but I was due one. We don't want that to be. You know, we're much more in control of the bowling balls and what we use than we are the pin setters.
So yeah, these bowling balls ultimately do not need to cause them more divided.
No, we've got to. The governing body, USBC, has to just help everybody out, help the manufacturers out, help bowling out, help tournament directors out, help bowlers out, and just say, look, we're going to go with this route. You know, urethanes all in, urethanes 78D or not, or no urethane whatsoever. I'm now, as much as I've loved the purple hand, I do love the purple hand. I think for the sake of the game, I think just get rid of the damn things.
78D.
I think ultimately, no, just get rid of them all.
All of it.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think ultimately, because there's still going to be the questions, you know, in a year's time or 2 years' time, people are going to produce bowling balls that are 78D or whatever, and they're still going to get softer and softer. And are we then going to end up with a same position, you know, where maybe we test some balls and they're reading 70? I don't know. Who knows how these things are going to happen? You know, have we continued to test, like I talked about before, we don't do the testing. We don't test enough. We don't do it under maybe enough scientific environment.
I've got a question. Do you think there are too many oil patterns?
Oh my God, we're going somewhere else now.
Should we save that for another day?
Yeah, I think we need to. That's a whole. Yeah, that's a long conversation. That's a long conversation. Yeah.
So there you go.
But to answer your question, yes.
Yes.
But we can't get away from it.
No. Okay.
And despite that, and now you've got to go.
No, it's another episode now. Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Motiv AIK No Urethane non-EBT event is taking place towards the back end of this year. Entries will be open soon. Head to, search Motiv AIK International.
You've been paid for this, haven't you?
No, I'm not paid. I'm promoting the bloody sport, mate. If you do want to pay me to promote your event, please send me an email, justin@gmail.com. Yeah. But until then, this is a topical event off the back of an announcement from the European government body, which is particularly relevant. And entries open for Storm Luck Larsen next year.
So, cool.
There you go.
Right. Thank you everyone for watching. Really do appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying it.
No strings attached. Potentially no urethane being rolled in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
We will update you as soon as the USBC make their final decision public.
If they do.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll be back next week. I'm Mark, he's Tristan. Thanks for watching.
Take care. Love you. Bye.